Tillmann, thanks a lot for taking the time.
Thank you.
You are the co-founder and CEO of Yova, a company that is dedicated to impact investing, a fintech, with a clear goal to drive sustainability topics. Why did you decide to found Yova? What is it that drives you? Why do you do what you do?
So I've always been excited by business models that have the potential to do something good at scale. So business models at scale, but that have a positive impact on the world. And most of my professional career, I've been looking into the intersection of sustainability and technology. And I've also been interested and mainly frustrated by finance. So these were always topics that have excited me, fascinated me, and sometimes frustrated me. The idea of Yova came from the realization that the finance sector actually has big potential for positive change. The WWF in Switzerland, for example, says that some of the biggest unlocked potential to reduce CO2 lies within the financial sector. And we think that with Yova, we found a way to unlock this, to tap this unlocked potential by giving people a possibility to invest their money, but also do something good without having to give up anything. And that's basically how it came about.
So do you believe that impact investing does have an impact? And if yes, how do we have the biggest impact?
Yes, I absolutely believe impact investing has an impact. The first realization that you have to make is that any investment has an impact. Even if it's not an impact investing, it will still have an impact. The reason is that the question where capital is decides or has a big influence on where societal and technological progress is. And history is abundant with examples for that. So anytime there's a big technological breakthrough, typically that's because capital has been invested in these kind of technologies. Think about railways or maybe solar technology in more recent times. Any investment has always an impact. The question is, are you aware of what the impact is, and do you have the potential to control that impact? And that is really what impact investing is about, creating an awareness for what the impact is and making sure I can ideally funnel that into a good direction that I want, and combining it with a positive return. That's what makes impact investing, this duality of a financial return with a positive impact. So there's no doubt about the question whether there's an impact. Impact investing is successful if it manages to turn this impact into a positive impact.
And do you believe that there's at least some correlation between Generation Y or this new generation that is apparently very value-driven and impact investing? Do you believe that Generation Y is more prone to impact investing?
I certainly believe that the younger generation is prone to impact investing. I'm not sure if it's more prone to impact investing. We've actually, with Yova, we've made the experience that also, the baby boomer generation is actually very, very open to sustainability and sustainable finance in particular. And we've heard customers tell us that they're super excited now, maybe towards more the later years in their career, to finally have the possibility to do something about sustainability, simply because it wasn't a big topic in their time when they were young. But I think the values are there. So I'm actually quite convinced that people do care. It's not only the young people that care, quite the contrary. The middle-aged people and the more seasoned people, they do care too, and so they're very, very open for impact investing. So I absolutely say the young people do care, but I don't think they're alone in that.
ESG is nothing new. There's been microfinance for a time, and impact venture philanthropy, impact investing. Do you think that this time is different, or is it possible that it's just an investment trend?
I think it will sustain. So I think the power of impact investing is really to help solve some of the biggest challenges of our time. And obviously the ecological crisis that might come out of climate change is one of them, but there are other problems like, think about social problems like human rights, inequality, even gender inequality in the developed parts of the world. Problems that can be solved. So I think that current problems will be growing, especially topics like climate change. And I think the need for action will get bigger and bigger. And I think there will be top-down action enforced by policy, but I also think, again, that people do care and people do want to take action. I don't think that's a fad, because this consciousness of current problems such as climate change, I don't think it will fade away, simply because the problem is very unlikely to fade away. If the problem does fade away, that's the best thing that could happen. And if we don't need sustainable finance anymore, that's the best thing that could obviously happen. I am a rather optimistic nature, but I don't see that happening in the next couple of years. So I don't think it's a fad at all. I think it is a movement that is luckily picking up and that will sustain itself for a long time.
How do we get more people to invest with purpose?
So I think the biggest thing keeping people from investing currently is that it's very difficult and also very awkward. I mean, you have to go to your bank, and nobody likes going to their bank. And typically, the typical investment options out there are just very, very difficult for people to understand or even get bothered thinking about, right? Because most people just simply have more exciting stuff to do in their lives than worry about their finances. At the same time, everybody knows that it's important to invest for your future. So we think if you give people something that is easy to do and ideally fun and emotionally compelling, then they will invest more. So our answer to that question at Yova is actually if we provide people with a way to do good at the same time as like doing good for the world, at the same time as they're doing good for themselves, by providing for their own financial future and their kids, then they will do that, because all of a sudden investing is not only about basis points and financial returns and dividends. All of a sudden it's also about what is the impact of this company? What is my portfolio doing here? How much CO2 might I have avoided? How much employment might I have supported? How much might I have facilitated movement towards a cleaner economy and these kind of things? So this is a way to get the topic of investment exciting for people. So if you fill it with excitement and meaning at the same time as making it easy, I think it will be something that a lot more people will be engaging in.
Tillmann, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you, Zani.